Hey everyone, welcome to Birds of a Feather. Today we've got two end tables that we're going to be making over. These are near and dear because they belong to my mum and we're clearing out her house, so now I'm giving them a makeover. We're starting with sanding the tops back to bare wood, and I have to admit guys, this is such a slog. It took me 4 hours and I mistakenly thought that the center was solid wood too, but nope. As you'll see later, that presents a problem, but right now our primer has dried and now we're adding the paint. This is silk mineral paint. We had to water it down to about 1 ounce of water to 16 ounces of paint. We always start off with spraying our pieces upside down, and that's so that we can get into all the undercuts. Then we turn it right side up again and we continue spraying. Here we're just finishing off the sides, and as you can see, every time we do a pass, we come off the side, we trigger again, and we're going to overlap by 50%. Now we're doing the front. We're just going to do the areas that are hard to reach first before we come across and finish off the outer edges and the inside. On areas that get a lot of wear and tear, such as these drawer fronts where they're pulling in and out, we pay particular attention to making sure we do a double pass. And again, these are very light coats. You don't want it so thick that it scrapes off with the drawers going in and out. Here's a look at that process again on the second end table. So we're starting with the legs, the pieces upside down. We're going around each and every leg individually. We're starting with corner and then face, corner, face in that fashion, all the way around. It's quite the methodical dance. And then we're going to turn it right side up again. And as you can see, there's some white that you can see showing at the legs, and that's not easy to get until it's right side up. We like to get the undercuts first while it's upside down, then we turn it right side up, and then we can get those areas. Now we're going to go for the broader strokes in the larger areas. We're going side to side, overlapping 50% with each pass. Then we're going to come around. We're going to go vertically first and then horizontally to fill in. And that's to ensure the edges that get the most wear and tear get adequate coverage. Again, vertical first, filling in horizontally, overlapping 50% as we continue upward. And again, this is where the drawers go in. We're doing the hard to reach places first, and then we're filling in. Before we continue on with the drawers, we're going to clean the tip of our paint gun. And that's because it can still tend to dry out as you spray. So you want it absolutely clean so nothing is going to impede the flow. So with the drawers, we're doing the edges first. And then we'll do the face, overlapping 50% as we showed you before. Now I'm taking over the spray gun so I can learn too. So on the edge here, I'm going to do 2 passes. Then I'm going to come over to the other edge and do exactly the same thing, another 2 passes. Then when that's done, I'm coming along the top. And again, you want to go back and forth twice. And finally, I'm going to do the face. I'm going to overlap 50%. And do several passes there too. Here's a tip. We always spray a little sample of paint right after we're finished. We still have paint in the gun. And I'm going to put this away because we just love this cactus color and do intend to use it again. So it's always handy to have a sample to refer back to. This is just a cut piece of MDF, and we cut several at a time so that we always have them on hand. Now it's time to clean out our paint gun.
So to clean this, we've cleaned the cup with water. We've added water in here. We're going to spray that out through the nozzle. But then if we take a rag and put it over that nozzle and press and push the button, it reverses. You can see it coming reverse into here. So now you're going backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. backwards. So the water is circulating, almost like a washing machine in there, cleaning it out. And we'll do this a couple times. You see now the water's dirty because it's brought the paint out of here. So we're going to put fresh water in there and do it again until this water comes clean.
Okay, let's show them.
Clean water.
Now we've got clean water in there and we're just doing it one more time.
I'll show you what happens without the lid on. Forward, backwards, see? Forward, backwards. There you go. The top of the cup gun has to be kept really clear all the way through. If you're spraying and your spray really slows down, it might be because that hole is full of paint and dried up and the air can't replenish into the cup.
So you don't want it to get clogged.
So, and even how it's dirty now, you're going to want to get some water in there. And just keep that clean. See, get the paint out of there. Make sure that hole is always clean when you're spraying her. So if you have a little cup of water with you, you can use that to clean this hole. We'll do that in the sink later. And you also, as you're spraying, you can take water and a little toothbrush and keep this tip really clean as you're spraying. If it gets clogged up with dry paint, you get a really bad spray.
So you want to do that during and after?
Yep. Every few pieces you spray, give this a little clean. Make sure it's really clean.
After working so hard to sand off the previous finish back to the natural, I'm debating whether I should stain it or whether I should just seal it and leave it natural. Now, I think it might look nice natural because I've got this beautiful green color. This is a silk mineral paint. And I'm thinking that the natural might look really nice with it. But to know for sure, what we're going to do is we're going to take some mineral spirits and we're just going to wipe it on to see what it's going to look like.
Lacquer thinner.
Oh, sorry about that, I misspoke. We're actually using lacquer thinner. But you could take mineral spirits if we had it, right?
Yes, it just takes hours to dry, as lacquer thinner will actually clean the wood and only take a few minutes to dry. But it evaporates quick, so when we put this on here, you're only going to be able to look at what the finish will be for a few minutes. Be careful, do this outside. You don't want to breathe this. You want to have gloves on. It's lacquer thinner.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Here's what it would look like if it was just clear coated. Or oiled. You could just do an oil finish too. Now we have a sand through here. We just want to see how that looks. You can see it looks green.
Oh no.
It's taken on we went right through the veneer, sanding it off.
Oh, that's too bad.
So maybe it won't look good clear. Maybe a stain would hide that a bit better. Yeah, look at it from here.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I can see definitely it's green.
So
let me just come around.
Maybe a
wow.
Also, if you look here close.
Look, right here too.
On an angle, can you see those scratches? That's from the sander. Can you see the scratches all the way down this side?
Yeah.
So this is how you check a piece before you stain it even. You wipe it with the thinners. Everything will show up. And you can see there's sand through, you can see scratches you have to still sand out, and scratches here. And you can sand those out, but now you can see them. You can see the rest of the top is really nice, but that's the orbital sander. It's left scratches.
Okay, so now I have a decision to make.
So now you know you can sand that out, and then once you've sanded that out, this is solid wood, you can sand it out and then wipe it with thinners to check your work again, if you want.
Yeah, but unfortunately we did get sand through. We blew through the veneer with our sander, so we've got this sort of ugly green spot, but the solution for that, I hope, is going to be some transfers. And then what I'll do is clear coat the top and we're good to go with the bottom. Carefully line up your transfer exactly where you want it. You really only have one shot at this because once it's down, it's very difficult to get up again, and you don't want it sticking to your raw wood if you do have to reposition it, so make sure it's exactly where you want it before you lower it down. To burnish this on, I'm using this burnisher stick that comes with the transfer. Now, I do want to make sure this is going to stick. So I'm just going to see what happens if I do this corner. I'm not sure if it's going to work on raw wood, and it does. So I'm good to go. So I'm going to burnish it all over. Now I do have a larger burnisher, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break and see if I can find that, because this is going to be, if I have to do like 4 of these, it's going to be slow going if I'm just using this little stick. So I'm going to go find that and I'll be right back. Once the transfer is on there, we're going to go over it really well with this burnishing tool. This is the one that comes in the package, and it's great for smaller transfers or getting into like some of these smaller areas here. But for the overall burnishing, I like to use this larger one. It also has a smaller side here too, so that you can get into these tighter areas. So once you've gone over at least once, you're going to lift a corner and see if you can get it to lift. I've used transfers several times before, and as you'll see later in this tutorial, I'm finding that the raw wood is more difficult to transfer to. As you can see, it's transferring to the substrate here, the wood. Now I do find these smaller details a little more difficult to start. So just be really diligent with burnishing and just slowly lifting. And if you notice that anything has still stuck to the backing, this plastic backing here, just gently put it back down and go over it. Just pay special attention to the ends of the details so that you can get them well burnished down and it will release from the backing. And there you go, as you can see, it's lifting away. And again, you just want to be sure that you're starting the ends of the elements and getting them right stuck down. I'm going to bring the camera around and try to show you that you can see like this ghosting when it's ready to lift. So let's just come around this way. Hopefully I can capture this. You can kind of eyeball it and see that it's ready to lift here. And this is being really stubborn, so I'm going to put it back down and burnish until it releases. So if you experience that it's really difficult to lift as you're coming from this direction, you can continue on from another area and work towards it instead. And that way you're not going to accidentally tear anything. Let's just see if I can get this middle lifting here. And just be really diligent that as you lift, you can see that it's remaining on your wood. And you also want to be sure that there's nothing on the transparent backing here, because if there is, you want to just lay it back down gently and go over it again. Just keep burnishing until you're able to lift. Okay, so let's look at that again from the other side. Okay, now I have torn it just here, so I'm gonna put it back down and just make sure I can lift that. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift from here and work my way back, and that way I won't tear anything further on this end here. And what you can do is take just a scrap piece to get right under there, and so you can get a fingernail under there. And I know you can't see, let's just see if I can move the camera closer. So I've just got a fingernail under there, and I'm burnishing, and I'm just going to ever so slightly try to lift that up. This is all a matter of like pushing with the burnisher and then pulling up. As you can see, it's just starting to lift. You'll see it release as you gently lift the backing, and unfortunately it's not a process that you can really rush, because you do tend to get tears if you do lift too soon or too aggressively. Sometimes all you really need to do is change direction to get it going again, and then work your way back to the areas that are giving you problems. Okay, now that I've got that started, I'm coming back to the middle here. And I'm going to continue pulling back. Okay, so here I've actually torn it, so I'm putting it back down and I'm burnishing really well, and then just where that's not lifting, I'm going to carefully lift, making sure that it's well stuck. So this is really a matter of slow and steady wins the race. You just have to be really patient with it. Come around from this way. Oops. Okay, gently lay it down. Burnish the part that is not releasing. Now I'm going to gently lift from here and work my way back to that section, trying not to tear it again. Then I'm going to swing around and approach it from the other side here. And there you go. Just going to burnish all over with the finger here. Let's just back you up so you can see it. Look how pretty that is. I'm just going to take a piece of cloth and I'm going to go over all the edges. make sure that everything is well stuck down. Burnishing with the cloth can actually really help with the ghosting you can sometimes get when the transfer releases from the backing. Last piece, and then we're going to be ready for clear coat. There's my other corner. And if we move over here, my messy studio, you can see that this piece is already done, just waiting for clear coat. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed these end table makeovers and how to fix unexpected mistakes with the transfer. For more paint ideas, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and ring that bell to get notifications of our upcoming projects. Join us again soon for another flip on the fly.